Good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. We thank you for joining us in this edition of a 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinox Television. Let's begin right away in the Southwest Regional Headquarters of Boya to talk about students, hundreds of them, that braved the rainy day this morning to get their results at the General Certificate of Education Board in St. Pete, Boya, but it was practically difficult for them to get their results. The reasons would be recounted in the following report by Derek Jato, was there with the students. They recounted their ordeals in the following story.
24 hours after the Cameroon General Certificate of Education GCE Board announced the release of the 2018 result, candidates that sat for the examination said they have not seen their result.
They told us that to make, and we don't know when they are going to.
We are at the GCE Board head office here in Boya, and the frustration is visible.
There's a lot of tension, too much tension. All that they get money.
The tension here is more than the rain falling on them. These GCE candidates have been standing here at the GCE head office main gate since the early hours of the day, asking questions and demanding answers from the board as to why they can't access their result.
I missed anything yet. Nothing, no answer in our story is locked. I've been our up to now. Nothing yet. Come down here so I can see what's happening.
Adding that the website and their centers don't have the result, and even at the GCE board head office, they have been told to wait.
For the students, they should calm down. To my own point of view, as a teacher, they should calm down. Their respective principals will get their results to them in their different institutions. That's the conviction I have, and that is what is going on. And right inside there, that is what they are doing. The printing of the booklets are ongoing.
At press time, security forces came to the scene, and the gate of the Cameroon GCE board head office was shut. The overall performance has witnessed an increase this 2018. Ordinary level scored 50.08% as compared to the 23.97% in 2017. And the advanced level recorded 67.40%, far above 45.25% scored last year. From the 0.00% recorded last year, the Cameroon General Certificate of Education Ordinary Level Technical scored 59% this 2018, and Advanced Level Technical also recorded 74.43% as compared to 0.00% in 2017.
Derek Jato, they're reporting now for students of the French subsystem of education. We are talking about the baccalaureate examinations. Their results were made public. That was a few days ago, but students who were not successful at Lycée Bilingue Polyvalent in Bonabere of the Douala 4 municipality have said that the results is not a reflection of their output. The more than 10 students or grumbling students in the said institution were speaking to our reporter, Babla Jonathan.
She is lamenting over the failure of her son at the technical baccalaureate examination. She is surrounded by other candidates who wrote the examination in the Lycée Polyvalent de Bonabere sub-center, but their names did not feature on the list of successive candidates. They have attributed their fate to administrative flaws. We think that we failed because our names were not on the final examination list, and so our scripts were not considered, and we are persuaded because our scripts were not marked. The principal of Lycée Polyvalent de Bonabere in the Douala 4 subdivision, Nicolas Comé, dismisses the allegations made by the students, indicating that all measures were taken for their names to appear on the examination list, and when this failed, he and his collaborators went further to make sure that they sat for the examination according to prescriptions of the baccalaureate office. All the children whose names were not on the list according to what the baccalaureate office requires, we put them in their specialties and gave them numbers, and at the end all their scripts like those of the other students and a report on the situation written by the school secretariat was sent to the baccalaureate office.
Leur tenir informé de cette situation.
Je veux savoir si j'ai eu l'examen ou j'ai pas eu.
And Jordan does not understand why and how. In a class of over 73 students, she is the only one who failed.
De plus de 113 élèves, je suis la seule qui a échoué.
I think, in my humble opinion, that they failed not because their names were not on the list of candidates.
Je leur ai demandé donc de faire une requête.
And the principal of lycée polyvalent de Bonaberi has asked her and the other students to file petitions at the baccalaureate office.
J'ai fait une requête.
Jordan has already done so and is expecting a positive response.
Même si c'est que c'est mauvais, je veux quand même savoir que je n'ai pas le bac parce que j'ai échoué, pas parce que je suis dans l'incertitude.
Dozens of families in Limbe are still stranded and several persons fear death following floods which resulted to a deadly landslide in the early hours of this morning. That was precisely at the Limbe 3 subdivision. Water from the torrential rains penetrated into houses, paralyzing activities in several neighborhoods, as we see in this report. The storm was intense. Houses and vehicles submerged in the floods. After the downpour which hit several regions of Cameroon early Tuesday, at least 10 neighborhoods in the town of Limbe were adversely affected. By 7 a.m., Mabeta, Motoro, Church Street, Manga Williams Avenue, Clark's Quarters, Down Beach, amongst other neighborhoods, were filled with water and practically difficult for people to circulate. Bonjo in Limbe was one of the quarters most hit by the floods, where a landslide occurred, submerging several persons.
We were there struggling to remove water from our houses because of flood. When we heard about the landslide now, we rushed to the site to see what was going on. We discovered that the house that has been attacked was having 3 persons, the father and 2 other kids. We discovered a beer man, one beer person who went also to rescue them. But he was taken by the mud, so we first of all rescued him and they took him to the military hospital in the Manaube. Now while other people were there, the population, many of them were digging. Even me, I was there, I was one of the rescue, we were digging. So the landslide again, this one now, this time, this thing was very heavy. And about 40 persons were there, struggling to, looking for where we can see the corpse, because it was only corpse, because it made about 45 minutes since we were looking for the father and the 2 children. So this heavy one came now and took every person. So we ran and some of us tried to escape. Now I can say about 10 or 20 people can see me down there.
At least 2 corpses were retrieved and 8 other occupants of the house who were present before the landslide occurred are still missing. Findings are on course. The senior divisional officer for Fako Division, accompanied by security officials, were in the inundated localities to take stock of the situation. This is the first time since the start of the year 2018 that Limbe is facing such calamity. And the section of the road linking the B base in Manowabe in Limbe, southwest region of the country, and Limbe 3 subdivision has simply been cut off as a result of the floods in the early hours of this morning. DBC Maimo paints the picture further in the following story.
We are standing right at the measure road getting to Limbe 3 subdivision within the entire Limbe municipality. And of course, the landslide has actually divided Limbe 3 subdivision with the rest of the city. This road was started by the Cameroon Elite Defense Force, the B, as the road leads to their camp. As we speak now, if nothing is being done and done fast, it definitely says the B base has been cut off from the rest of the town, and equally Limbe 3 subdivision has been cut off from the rest of the entire city. In fact, the city of Limbe today woke up with a lot of troublesome issues, from landslide, from mud flow, from flood, and so many things. We last saw this in 2001. 17 years after, Limbe is still experiencing such a devastating situation.
The entire city of Limbe is hit by the torrential rains. From Bende West passing through the place, the road undergoing rehabilitation is hit, with landslide that almost carried a caterpillar. At the Kasai Farm neighborhood, just as in Church Street and other neighborhood, a small stream overflows its banks, causing huge damages to materials as the entire area is inundated. Upper Lumsum equally saw a big tree that almost fell on a house due to landslide, same as in Mabeta New Layout and other neighborhood. At the Manga Williams area, the entire Manga Williams Street leading to Down Beach rendered impassable for several hours as the whole area is underwater. Nonetheless, the big news of the day is at Mbonjo, where a house is completely swept away by landslide, with some persons said to have been covered under the ground. Thanks to the elite unit of the KMER military, the B, and the local population, where some who are rescued are presently under medical care at the B Health Unit at Manawa Bay. The situation in Limbe saw the entire administration, from the LSDO, the DOs, the government delegate, the mayors, and other top officials in Limbe on their feet to evaluate the damages caused and seek lasting solution to the flood issue in Limbe.
We could see how it was a collective effort between security forces and those local inhabitants in Limbe of the southwest region of the country to rescue those that were trapped in the debris of the collapsed building in Limbe. This morning, one of those involved in the rescue mission is going to be telling us how the task was a Herculean one. Take a listen.
I was called very early in the morning that my closest neighbor, where I'm building my plot, that the house is down due to a landslide. I had immediately to rush there. When I arrived there, I found my brother drowned into the ground. Only the head was out. We had to fight in order to rescue him. We tried all our best and we rescued him because he was the only one we saw at that particular moment. We took him directly to the camp because he was a military man. Right now they are fighting on him to see if he will come back to himself. We rushed back to the area to see if we could at least meet the deaths, because automatically we knew the rest of the three. My closest neighbor, we knew he was dead with the second son and with one girl who came to his house for holidays. We came there and were like trying to remove ground to find the corpse. And as we were fighting, ground came down again. I can't tell you exactly how many people went, how many people died, but automatically people died after the ground slide again for the second time. Just thank God because we're being saved. We're saved after the second landslide. For all the people which we tried to rescue at that particular moment, we took them to Manawa Bay. We are having about 9 or 8 people lying in Manawa Bay. They are following treatment.
And it took several hours before another body was removed from the debris of the apartment house which collapsed in the locality of Mbonjo Limbe Free subdivision this morning. Several persons are still trapped in the debris. As we speak, we are closely following up developments in Limbe Southwest region. We, of course, will be keeping you updated as soon as you are informed. You can see the images of another person that was removed from the debris of the apartment house which collapsed in the Limbe Free subdivision. That was in the early hours of this morning. That is, those are images that we got this afternoon in that part of the country. It has so far left local inhabitants in shock and consternation. Now, the doors of dozens of shops in Boya, chief town of the southwest region of the country, are still sealed. The mayor of the municipality, accompanied by security forces, proceeded to seal the doors of several business premises, particularly some shops that are being owned by the Boya City Council. The crime of the shop owners is that they were respecting the ghost town. Yesterday, Monday, Mayor Ekema Patrick Esunge had warned that business persons who respect the ghost town are simply going to have their shops closed by the municipality. We now talk about the strike action of some students in the far north region of the country, or students of the University of Marwa in the far north region, precisely those of the Faculty of Mines, Industry and Petroleum, that went on rampage between last night and in the early hours of this morning. They decried the non-publication of the second semester results, but they were scheduled to sit for the receipt examination this Thursday. They said that the time was too limited for them to get themselves ready. The divisional officer, accompanied by gendarmes in the presence of the rector of the university, have called for calm. A meeting took place in the early hours of this morning. It should be noted that the students were equally protesting against the late publication of their results. 3 resolutions were met following the meeting that took place between the rector of the institution, Rector Professor Idrisu Ayum, as well as the students, the grumbling students of the University of Marwa. And they said that the receipt of the examinations, or the receipt, would simply take place during the next semester, and that the results will be made public before tomorrow morning. That was the situation in the far north region of Cameroon. Now, the ruling CPDM party, the president is leaving no stone unturned to continue governing the country as days are elapsing. CPDM bigwigs are deploying themselves in some parts of the country. Precisely, we take you to Lum of the Mongo division to see how Lejeune Mbelambela was in the Mongo division to reunite, listen and equally encourage supporters of the CPDM political party. Innocent as it tells us more.
Lejeune Mbelambela, Minister of External Relations, arrives the Mongo division of the littoral region to remind militants of the CPDM party of the role they have to play to ensure Biya remains in office for another 7 years.
Today was not a day of great meeting. It was now to go point by point to evaluate how far we have gone, and also to find out if their commitment is a true commitment, and if they are going to work very hard to make sure that our candidate, Biya, should be the winner in 2018, October 7.
CPDM militants as well as traditional authorities who welcomed the minister and CPDM big gun after listening to Lejeune Mbelambela tabled him some of the challenges they face in the Mongo division. Inadequate and well-equipped health centers. There is absence of potable water, thus a possible danger to contract cholera. Taking into consideration the plights of the people,
le problème de sécurité, compte tenu du contexte socio-politique dans les 2 régions du nord-ouest et du sud-ouest.
Minister Lejeune Mbelambela urged the militants to remain committed and firm in order not to be swept off by other political parties.
No matter what the other candidates are trying to do to divert some of the militants to their parties, there is a full commitment, and there is no doubt about it. This sub-region has never failed to bring his commitment to the president, his support, full support.
To the external relations boss, CPDM means serious business, and it is not time for squabbles between militants that could create division. Reason why he also moved to Nkongsamba to settle a prolonged dispute between the mayor of Nkongsamba 3 and the section president of the party for unity to prevail that will help President Paul Biya remain in power for another mandate.
And talking about the President of the Republic of Cameroon, he signed 3 decrees today appointing heads of some public institutions in the country. Nanganga is the board chair of the Institute for Agricultural Development, IRAT, in the country. Meantime, another decree has appointed Ngba Zakari as the board chair of the Cotton Development Corporation, so the cotton in the country. He has equally signed another decree appointing a new general manager as an assistant at Sodekotong. We would be coming back to that in our subsequent newscast. Now we talk about the outing of the Ministry of Defense in Cameroon. Just this afternoon, the minister delegate at the presidency in charge of defense, Joseph Bitia Somo, that has issued a communique this afternoon admitting that a soldier who reportedly raped a 17-year-old girl in Bamenda, northwest region of the country, Monday, has been apprehended. The soldier, named Atumbida, according to the minister, was taken to the military court in Bamenda. That was this morning, and would have to answer to his crimes. The minister said that the soldier failed in his role and duty to protect the citizens and abused the victim in the guise of demanding for her identity card. That was an incident which occurred yesterday, Monday morning. The victim recounted her ordeal, which should be noted in a video that went viral on social media. On to something else, we take you to our Victoria page for tonight. The ICT University of the United States of America in Cameroon has graduated some 100 students in different departments with information and communication technology skills that gives them the potential to be sure of obtaining jobs at the end of their training. These graduates from the ICT University have been well nurtured with the ICT skills to be successful like their predecessors. Let's have the details in the following story.
It was during the 5th commencement ceremony of the Information and Communication Technology ICT University USA Cameroon that the well-nurtured 100 students in the departments of ICT, Management and Renewable Energy were crowned graduated. They were empowered with certificates as tools to realize their dream.
I feel really amazing. It feels really good. At least it's an accomplishment, and for me, this is where life begins. So I just hope it turns out for the better.
I feel very happy and proud to be a graduate in banking and finance, and I'm so happy I won an award for the best person in my field, and I hope for a better future.
To the graduates, studying in the ICT University USA Cameroon is a guarantee for a bright future.
Oh my God, I can say, if not the best, one of the best education one can get here in Cameroon, because it's not only about education, it's about life experience. We have online classes. It means that when you're working, you can also as well be going to school. You have online classes, e-library, so everything is so at the students' disponibility that it's just excellent.
Education ICT is really something I would recommend, because they actually have good lecturers, good teachers, and the standard of teaching is actually quite high. Because if you don't read, you don't pass. So yeah, it's a really good institution, and I advise you to send your people, or if you yourself could go there, it will be a good place for you to learn.
ICT University USA Cameroon aims at empowering students with information and communication technology skills for self-employment.
Without the knowledge of ICT, you are an illiterate. At ICT University, our teaching methods are like the latest in the world. Like at our university, you can take classes online and on-site. Our online platform is not like any other online platform. It is unique. You can sit in your house, sit in your office, sit anywhere in the world and take your courses and complete your bachelor's, master's and PhDs.
Some courses offered in ICT University include information and networking, business, renewable energy, and lots more.
If you just visit our site, ictuniversity.org, you will see a lot of courses we do offer. ICT is for everybody. Even when we do teach economics at ICT University, we put that component of ICT in it. So that is the difference between our courses and what we do as compared to all of the other universities.
The graduation at the Yaoundé Congress Hall grouped university dons from Cameroon, Kenya, Nigeria, Burkina Faso, Uganda, to mention but a few. All in a bid to give the ICT University USA Cameroon graduation the grandeur it deserves.
We are very, very proud of all the graduates. They did excellent. They were very, very serious. Their parents gave them a lot of support. And what we are very proud about our graduates is that a lot of them get jobs. And so we are very proud of that, and we look forward to this new group getting not necessarily employed, but creating their own employment. Because we train all our students with knowledge of entrepreneurship. We just want to tell them to keep the faith, trust God, like the speaker said, and keep dreaming big, not small.
Some of the academicians were also awarded medals and certificates.
It means a lot. It's a booster to me, a mark of recognition to actually find out that my boss recognizes my work, and it gives me more impetus to work and to put all my best to make sure that we have the best students from ICT University. They should put everything in the hands of the Lord, because once they entrust everything in the hands of God, they will never falter, they will succeed.
The ICT University USA Cameroon's 5th commencement ceremony was presided over by Professor Nyongbet Gabsa Wilfred, Secretary General in the Ministry of Higher Education, who represented the Minister of Higher Education. Also present during the ceremony was the Deputy Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor EQUINOXE.
And that brings us to the end of this first segment of the news. Time for us to meet our guest tonight. Stay with us. We shall be right back. We, of course, tonight will be receiving a teacher to tell us more about the publication of the results of the General Certificate of Education, Mr. Adamu Asimu. Good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Talking Point.
Yeah, good evening, Mimi.
You are, of course, a teacher at the Government English Primary School in New Bell, Douala 2 subdivision.
Yes,
you must have been following development since the results of the GCE were made public. Results were supposed to, the students were supposed to be jubilating. I'm not saying that others have not started jubilating yet, but others are busy in search of their results. What could possibly be the problem?
Yes, it's like since the results were released this year, the system that they used to use, where you have to send a number, your center number, and your name, and they just give you the results. It's like this year, they have not introduced that system this year, and it has made it very difficult for students to get the results. I think the system this year is not very good for them to get the results.
So were there not other alternative measures that were supposed to be put in place by the GCE, but to ensure that, to avoid such circumstances?
Yeah, of course. There would have been alternative measures that they did not put the measures in place to help the students. It's unfortunate. And even the media too, that like formerly they used to sell out from the newspapers. We used to get results from there. But it's like this year, things are not very smooth for the students.
One day after the publication of the results, many are still without a knowledge or a clue of whether they have passed the GCE or not. Now, let us look at the statistics.
Yes.
What is your evaluation?
Yes, Madam Mimi, it's really surprising that with our situation that we have in the country this year, if you look at the results this year, it's much better than the results we had last year. So probably there are many factors that have contributed
like
to
what,
that.
for instance?
Yeah. You know, this year there were a lot of leakages. Probably since they have to rewrite a lot of papers, probably that also favored the students.
Favor the students.
Yes, and you know, from normal understanding, the GCE was compiled, or everything for the GCE was done in Yaoundé, not in Boya. We know the security problems. The GCE board could not have managed the questions in Boya, so everything was done in Yaoundé. And since these questions are probably transported from Yaoundé to Boya, anything could have happened along the line. That's why we have a lot of leakages too. And during the marking too, the teachers were under a lot of stress, and they were nervous too because of the security problems. So I think there was no effective.
So you're saying that
marking.
They were somehow considerate?
Yes, they were considerate, and the marking probably was not very effective. You know, formally after marking, there's always somebody has to check. There's A, there's B, and there's C. And I don't think it happened this year because of probably the security problems we have in the country.
But does it necessarily mean that a lot of students actually took part in the exams?
Yes.
Because under normal circumstances, if a single child or 5 children wrote in a particular center in the Southwest region and 5 of them passed, it is 100%.
Yes, probably too that has also favored them, since many students did not write. You know, this year we know what we are passing through in the Northwest and the Southwest regions. Some schools, like for example in Boy Division, that's around Bello, and in Momo, there are some schools that no candidate wrote the exams. But in some schools, very few wrote, and probably the number that passed made them to have a very good percentage. That is a good idea too.
As a teacher, are you worried about the educational standard in the English subsystem of education?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I think this is a problem, Madam Mimi, since we expect the results maybe to be worse this year, but it increased, so we doubt the standards this year, because students did not school effectively for 9 months. But when they come up with good results, we begin to question the results, really, as a teacher. Even though I'm not saying that the GCE standard has dropped. Yeah, but I feel there's something wrong.
And for this year, how do you foresee the academic year, particularly in the Northwest and the Southwest regions?
Yeah, since the problem are still going on, probably if the problems can be solved, things may be better.
Because several schools now in the littoral region, in the center regions of the country, are now being inundated by several pupils and students from these regions, particularly your school, of course. Of course.
We are suffering from this overcrowding now. You know, there's this problem of overcrowding, and that is why we have to question the results, because with this overcrowding, students still did very, very well this year. So we are really surprised. But anyway, we think that is how it has happened.
Only an examiner can be able to tell. Thank you so much, Mr. Adamu Hasimu, for joining us tonight on Talking Point. We hope to have you some other time.
There's no problem.
You so much
Thank you for inviting me.
To our viewers, it was equally a pleasure having you with us in this edition of the Primetime Newscast on Equinox Television. We thank you so much for joining us. As usual, wishing you a blessed stay in the company of our programs. Until we meet again, goodbye.